space, the final frontier. This is the voyage of the USS Enterprise. Star Trek Into Darkness. So I have to say, I'm definitely a Star Wars guy. I've hated Star Trek. I never got into it. That is until about 4 years ago when J.J. Abrams made his first Star Trek movie, which I think is the best sci-fi movie since Return of the Jedi. And now we have a sequel in which we get all of that same stuff that we loved about the first movie, plus more. So in this movie, Chris Pine and Zachary Quinto are back as Kirk and Spock, and they're dueling Benedict Cumberbatch, who plays John Harrison, who has a vendetta against the Federation, and he's just one of the biggest terrorists that they have ever seen. So now it's up to Kirk and his crew to stop him. Now this movie from the trailers already looked really cool. I knew it was going to be a good movie because I love the first one. And J.J. Abrams, as far as I'm concerned, has not made a bad movie yet. But I think the trailer for this movie really undercuts this movie because there's a lot of layers to this movie that you wouldn't get just from watching the trailer. I really like that. I thought that was really cool. Now the lens flares are in this movie, but to me they're not really that big of a deal. They're really only distracting in like 2 or 3 scenes that I could think of. But if you just hate lens flares, this movie might annoy you. I'm not really sure. Because I personally have no problem with the lens flares. Now the cast in this movie was just as good as it was in the original movie, I think. Chris Pine did a great job as Kirk, Zachary Quinto did a great job as Spock, and their chemistry in this movie took the next step that you think it would take after the first movie. I mean, Kirk's now the captain, Spock is his first officer, so you think that Spock would agree with him, and that's what Kirk wants. He wants Spock to just go along with his plans, but Spock is still part Vulcan, so he can't lie, and so he might do some stuff that might, make Kirk upset. No spoilers here, just saying. The rest of the Enterprise crew was great too. You had Carl Urban back as Bones, Anton Yelchin back as Chekhov. Harold from the Harold and Kumar movies was in as Sulu again. Scotty had this little subplot with these little missiles, and I thought that was a really funny part of the movie. But the person who steals every scene he's in this movie is Benedict Cumberbatch as John Harrison. I always heard Benedict Cumberbatch was a good actor. I haven't seen the Sherlock BBC series. I really want to check it out. But he was just really menacing as John Harrison in this movie. And in the action scenes with this character, you see him just throwing down with all these guys, all the Klingons. And you're just thinking to yourself, I don't really know how they're going to be able to stop this guy. He's just a bad dude. Peter Weller, RoboCop himself, is in this movie. I didn't know that. He's the head of the Federation. And he did a good job in this movie, and his character actually has a big part that I wasn't expecting. And this movie also had some pretty cool fan service in the movie too. Like, I hear the original Star Trek didn't have that much fan service in it for the original fans of the old movies. And I personally haven't seen any of the old movies. I've seen about, half an hour of Wrath of Khan. But I know my way around Star Trek lore, and I can tell that this movie did deliver for fans of the old movies too. The action in this movie was really well directed too. This is definitely the best cinematography I've seen all year. Because J.J. Abrams is directing the next Star Wars movie, which I'm also really excited for, I can't see him directing Star Trek 3. But I'm really interested to see where this series goes because this is by far the best movie of the year so far. And Star Trek Into Darkness gets an A+. Honestly, Abrams, Episode 7, looking forward to it. Star Trek Into Darkness, have you seen it? Tell me what you thought of it. If you've seen it, tell me what you thought of the twist. And thanks for watching this video. If you guys like it, click here to see more.